So you decided to start a new hobby, like jewelry making. And so you go out and you buy all the tools that you think you're going to need, the tools that the person at the hobby store tells you you should buy, spend all this money, come home, and then after starting your hobby, you realize that half of the tools suck and half of the tools you don't need. Well, if that's happened to you, like it happened to me, then I suggest you stick around because I'm going to show you my top 5 tools that I cannot live without to make beautiful jewelry. Hello, my name is Maria, and I'm going to be talking about the 5 top tools that I love to use every time I make jewelry. And as we go along, I'll tell you if there's certain variations or other ones that you might want to try out. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so my favorite tool, because I love to go into wire work, and I think at some point when you make jewelry, you're going to be working with wire. So this tool I cannot live without, and it's my Nylon Gel Pliers. Now these guys come like this. There are bigger ones, but they have these little like nylon covers, and then you have the 2 little screws here. So these are perfect for straightening out your wire. You can also use them to manipulate wire if you're making spirals or if you're making curves to your wire and you don't want to end up with any dents by using your regular pliers, then you definitely want to have a nice pair of nylon gel pliers. And also once the nylon part wears out, then you can go ahead and buy some replacements. So you definitely need these guys right here. For my second favorite tool that I cannot live without is a pair of round nose pliers. Now round nose pliers come again in different lengths. You can find smaller ones, you can find thinner ones, you can find thicker ones, but this is a basic pair of pliers that I use all the time. And I love these ergonomical ones because they fit the shape of my hand perfectly. These pliers are used to make loops. They're used to make, loops to connect beads together. They're used to make little swirls if you want to. They're used to just twist your wire in any shape that you need to. They're absolutely necessary when you're making a simple loop or a wrapped loop. You definitely need a pair of these guys. So I recommend getting a nice pair that fit comfortably in your hand. Don't make sure that the needle, the nose part of it is not too short either, and make sure that the handle is not itty bitty because like I said, you're going to use these guys a lot. Again, especially if you do a lot of beading with wire, so you definitely want to make sure that you're comfortable using it for several hours. The next one is that I cannot live without is a pair of flat nose pliers. And I'm also going to be linking all these pliers in the description box below if you're interested in buying them. Some of them are affiliate links and some of them are not. So if you do click on an affiliate link, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And like I said, these are like itty bitty needle nose pliers that really help me get right in there when I need to open one of the loops, to open jump rings. These are perfect. You sometimes want to have, especially if you're opening a lot of jump rings, you want to have 2 pairs. And I have these other ones that are flat nose pliers, and these are really affordably priced. They're really good pliers and they don't break the bank. Now, if you want the flat part of this and a thinner needle nose, you can always use chain nose pliers. These chain nose pliers are nice because you have the benefit of that needle nose rounded tip, and then you've got the flat part in the center to use it with your other pair of flat nose pliers to open and close jump rings. So you can decide whether you just want the small tiny pliers like I use all the time, or if you want a chain nose plier, but you definitely need either or flat nose pliers. Then you're going to need a nice pair of side cutters. You have different options of these cutters, but the ones I use the most are these small side cutters. They will cut a flat side completely, and then if you use the other side, it will leave like a V. So you have to make sure that you're always cutting the edge so you leave it nice and flush. It has that V, so again, you're able to get into those little areas, and it's recommended that you only cut up to 18 gauge because otherwise anything thicker will ruin them, and you definitely want to take good care of these because again, you use them a lot. So if you're going to cut thicker wire, you have to use definitely a more heavy duty type of wire cutter. Now for the fifth pair of pliers that you definitely need in your kit are a pair of crimp nose pliers, especially if you're going to do any type of bead stringing. These pliers are from Xuron, and they're a very popular plier. I don't get any commission. This is not sponsored by Xuron. If you see a lot of Xurons in my video, I really love the brand because they're really good pliers at an affordable price. Xuron, if you're listening and you want to sponsor. But anyway, these pliers are really cool. They have 3 slots, so you could choose depending on the size of your crimp. You rest your crimp in the largest divot, and then you squeeze down, and then the top part is used to finish closing your crimps. And then you have the added benefit that if you only have one pair of flat nose pliers, then they're perfect because you can use them along with your other flat nose pliers to open and close your crimp. So you don't need to have, all the other tools. Now, quickly, I'm just going to do honorable mentions to other tools that I love to have, but you don't need to, because these are the ones that are basic until at least you find out that that's what you love to do and that you're going to continue with your beading. Otherwise, I recommend a pair of bent nose pliers. These are fabulous, and also Xuron has a really nice pair that are nice and tiny, and they really can get in there. The bent nose pliers are perfect because you can make a wrap loop, and if you direct the nose away from the loop, then it doesn't get in the way when you're trying to wrap your wire. So that's another one. The other one that I love, especially because I do a lot of wire working, is my 6-step loop plier. This one has different loops that you can make different, as the name calls it. You can make 6 sizes of loops, and I use these a lot for when I make my own ear wires. So definitely recommended if you want to add to your stash. And then the others are these big guys. Now these look kind of weird, but if you want to work with memory wire, you are never ever supposed to use your flat nose pliers. Even a tough pair of pliers, it will ruin any pliers. These are for memory wire only. So I don't know, it just snips that wire really well, and that way you don't ruin your other pliers. Because if you use your good pliers or your flat nose pliers to cut memory wire, then you can just kiss them goodbye, because they won't work ever again. I mean, they'll have teeth marks on them. You'll definitely ruin them. So those are the other 3 that I would recommend if you decide that you love to bead and you want to go, further with making a bigger collection of your pliers, because trust me, you will have a lot of pliers if you do a lot of beading. So those are the other 3 that I would recommend that are fun to have and really convenient to have, more than fun. They're really convenient to have to skip some steps that you would have to, kind of struggle with the basic tools. Now, what you should not be using, these guys here. See, if you look at the size, and I have small hands. If you look at the size, look at how small these guys are and how they dig in here into my hand. When I went to Michael's and I decided to start beading and I wanted to get a nice set to start off with, I got these guys, and trust me, they suck. Then you should see I don't have the round nose pliers here with me. I think I threw those away, but they're tiny. They're so hard to work with. Sorry, my dog is snoring in the background. They're so hard to work with that I've never picked them up. I usually give them to my kids if they want to make jewelry. That way I know my good tools are not ruined. So definitely do not purchase this set. If you decide that you want a nice set of tools and not purchase each one of them individually, then I recommend, if you want a really nice set, I recommend you get something like this. This one I bought from Design Wire, and they sell, obviously, lots of wires. But look at how pretty. They come in different colors, too. There's a blue one, but pink is my color. Anyway, they come like this. And as you can see, I love their nylon gel pliers, so I took those out and always keep them out. But I pretty much have my favorites already, but I keep these as a backup. But as you can see here, This set is a nice set if you're going to want to, spend money on a set. And I'll leave the link to this set down below in the comments. Again, not sponsored. And see, they have the the bent nose pliers. You've got your round nose pliers, which are really nice. This length, really nice round nose pliers. And then you've got these. These are crimping pliers. I don't know if I haven't tried these, to be honest. I love my 01s and have not steered away from them. But these are crimping pliers. They have these guys, which kind of replace that 6-step loop plier that I showed you before. So you have different, measurements to make loops. But I don't know. I like more to be able to use it as a plier than to use these mandrels. But these come in handy if you need to. I mean, if you don't want to invest in another one, you get everything with this kit. And then they have these flat nose pliers. Super nice for making wire shapes and for opening, again, for opening and closing jump rings. Fabulous. They also have a pair of chain nose pliers. See, you've got your pair of chain nose pliers here as well. So like I said, if you do, I wish somebody would have told me about this, but if you do, oh, and I'm sorry, they do have a pair of side cutters. Again, they're not as fancy as the ones I love, my fancy side cutters. See how the tip is so tiny? It really gets in there. But these work really nice as well if you don't mind using these. Just that this tip right here, I really can't get into very close spaces or very little spaces. Because again, if you watch me, especially if you watch my channel, you know I do a lot of wire work. But otherwise, these are really good just for cutting wire. And that is, I think that is the kit. Yeah. So that is the kit. Plus of course, the nylon gel pliers. And I think this is $40, $50, unless I'm completely mistaken and it's more than that. Again, I will put that in the comments below. But for what you get for this set compared to these 3 little ones, because it was a set of 3 in a little box. Trust me, if you're definitely want to get started with a set, you want to go with these guys here, not this. Or again, you can start off individually with these on Amazon, because all of these pliers you will find on Amazon. So that is all. But if you start off with these 5 guys, as I've been showing you the examples, that's all you need to get started. And to see more of what I do with these guys here, then I'm going to leave this video right here for you guys to watch. Thanks for watching. Bye.